Bonjour, it's Théo. Today we are in the Rue Sainte-Anne. It's a famous street near the Opéra Garnier where you can find many Japanese and Korean restaurants and pastry shops. You can even find some Asian supermarkets like the Kmart with all the instant noodles, karaage, the onigiri. It's one of my favorite streets in Paris to find food easily. You can find some ramen, some udon, many Japanese dishes, and it's usually the place where I go when I don't know where to eat. When I'm with friends, I'm like, okay, let's go to the Rue Sainte-Anne and try some ramen. So that's what we're gonna do today. And it's a bit noisy, so let's go to the restaurant. It's like 4 p.m. and we want ramen. We are at Kintaro. It's a really good Japanese restaurant that I love. And they are open all day if you are in their shops near the opera. A good thing also is that Kintaro doesn't just have ramen. They have like many gyoza, many sides, many different recipes of broth. So you have really your choice for some noodles and sides that are cold or hot. You have the famous recipe of ramen with some miso or some shio, which is just with salt in the broth. I think I'm gonna take the classic shoyu ramen with soy sauce. It can be surprising to find some Japanese restaurants near the opera. Like it's a big Parisian place and you have many Asian food around. It's also because I think that France is one of the countries that is the most fan of the Japanese culture. I'm also a big fan of Japanese culture since I'm like 12 years old or even before when I was watching anime and reading a lot of manga. I even started YouTube talking about manga. And I love the Japanese culture and I think that France is also really connected to it. Mangas were imported in France in the late 70s, early 80s, and we started to read it a lot. And I think that in Japan they also have like this sense of rigor and work and discipline with the staff inside the kitchen that we also have in France in terms of cooking. So I think that we are connected with this elegance and these techniques and the discipline in the cooking. It's time for the starters. We have the torikara. I think it's the same name for karaage. It's like the Japanese fried chicken. You can recognize Japanese fried chicken with this bubbly crust. Like it's not like flat, it's some piece of chicken thighs with a really bubbly and transparent crust. And this is the inari. It's a bowl of rice that is coated with some fried tofu. I've never tried it, so I don't know if tofu is like crusty, crunchy, I don't know. You can see there is just rice inside, like sushi rice. I don't put any soy sauce on it, I just want to see the real taste. I'm still chewing. It's really dense. The rice is good, lightly sweet. I think the tofu is lightly sweet. It's okay, but it's not really like an incredible starter. And it's time for the karaage. I know this one is delicious. I already know. Let's go. Of course, it's so good. The chicken is really tender, it's a bit fat, a bit oily. It's time for the ramen. I took the soy sauce ramen. We have some pork on it, some nori. Here is, I think it's bamboo. A lot of scallions and the noodles right here. And it looks delicious. And here this is the beef udon. The udon is like a different type of noodles. It's like bigger, thicker noodles. You can see it's really thick. It's also delicious. Like I really like the udon. But I wanted to try like some more traditional ramen with you. The first thing when you eat ramen is to try the broth. I think it's like the traditional way to eat ramen. You need to try the broth first. The soy sauce is really powerful. The nori gives a lot of taste. It's a perfect winter dish. Even if you are in spring, it's still a really good dish. The noodles are really thin. I also like thicker noodles, but usually for the ramens, the noodles are thin like that. Even if it's in a hot broth, it's still al dente. You still have to chew it a little bit. So the texture is really nice. But also a ramen of good quality have delicious meat. So let's try these pork slices. You have this little bit of this part of fat that is melting in your mouth when you eat it. And then you chew the meat. It still has some textures and it's tender also with the juice. It's really nice. It's a classic ramen. Like I took the classic soy sauce ramen. So you won't be surprised if you like ramen, but it's still a good thing to have like ramen in Paris, to have Japanese food in Paris, and also food from all over the world. Like you can find in Paris many different restaurants. And if you want me to try them, tell me in the comments which type of cuisine, which type of food you want me to try. Can I try the udon? Can I try it? Yes! If you come with me in a restaurant, you need to be ready because I'm gonna try your food. I'm gonna try it and if you don't finish your dish, I'm gonna finish it for you. So this is the udon. It's a thicker type of noodle and I even prefer the udon than the noodles or the ramen. The taste is incredible. The broth, it's like a little bit caramelized or sweet. The beef is caramelized and it gives this sweet flavor to the broth. It's comfort food. I really like this udon. Something I really love to do is to take the crispy chicken, to dip it in the broth like that, and it gives like a new taste. I promise you, it's delicious. It's so good. The ramens are about 11 to 14 euros. It's like a really good price for a ramen. In Paris, it's really okay. And also compared to other dishes in Paris, it's really cheap. I'm eating the ramen, but I'm already full. So even for a kind of a small price, you still have a good quantity. If you come to Paris, Kintaro is a really good choice. I'm out of Kintaro. Kintaro is a great restaurant, but it's just one of the examples that you can find in the Rue Sainte-Anne and in the surroundings of the Opéra. All the district is full of Japanese and Korean restaurants, and it's a perfect place if you want to find some affordable Japanese food. And before the end of the video, I want to go to the Passage Choiseul. You will see it's beautiful. This is the Passage Choiseul. The passages are in Paris some covered streets that are extremely beautiful. You have many of them in the second arrondissement, and you can find many traditional and typical shops, and also some concept store, like some new concept, like this one is Indian street food, but it still has like an elegant vibe to match the vibe of the Passage Choiseul that is just magnificent. And here we are coming to the Palais-Royal. After eating in the second arrondissement, you can have a walk in the Jardin du Palais-Royal, one of my favorite gardens in Paris. I'm walking under the gallery of the Palais-Royal. It's a big monument. You can find the Ministry of Culture inside, but also the Conseil d'État, one of the highest institutions in France. And it's a really quiet park. It's perfect when you want to walk your dog, to go jogging. It's a small park. It's not like as big as the Tuileries or the Jardin du Luxembourg. And I think the Jardin du Palais-Royal is a good place to tell you goodbye. If you enjoyed this video, tell me in the comments what other food from all over the world you want me to try in Paris. And if you want to explore Paris and discover the French way of life, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I post every single day, so see you tomorrow.